Hey, this is Winston from Parkway Drive, and these are the 5 scariest things that's ever happened to us. Number 1 and the most dangerous things we've ever done. I'll start with the obvious skydiving because of the vice grip clip, but yes, that was the most dangerous thing I've ever done. Like, brown your pants, don't really want to get out of this open plane, and still, yeah, can't believe we actually do that. But yes, that's number 1. Find something else that's going to straight up kill me if I screw up, and then it'll take the place. But up until then, yes, that's number 1. The entire ride up in the plane is, you don't have to do this, why are you doing this? Yeah, you can still turn back. And then you kind of think that until you're like 5 seconds out of the plane and you're like, oh, the parachute's the only way I'm making this, because the plane's over there and I'm falling pretty quickly. So that's basically the mindset. But every single time we were going up in that plane for that shoot, because we did like 9 jumps. So it wasn't just like 1, here we go. Like, it was like, first take, no, we didn't get it on that, second take. And every time we're like, we can stop it now if we want. We can shut this whole thing down and we can just, like, green screen it. But, nah. You should see some of the outtakes. Like, even the shot where I, like, sing the line and then jump. Like, one of the other ones were like, how about we just, like, hang out the side of the plane and, like, it was literally me standing, like, hugging the plane, screaming over the top of it while the engine's in the background. And it didn't quite work as well, but I think I bungled the line a bit and then we jumped. So, yeah, it was fun trying to make sure we got it working. Water park. This doesn't sound that scary, but we used to break into this water park in America when we went to America and turn it on at night. So you got to do whatever you wanted in the water park, which meant riding it in ways that you're not supposed to for safety reasons, which was not the safest thing, put it that way. It was some of the stuff that, like, you just get things from other rides and take them on rides that are supposed to go a hell of a lot slower than we were going. We had situations where we had people going down these water slides and hitting corners so fast that they flew off the side of the water slide. And luckily there was another water slide next to it where they landed in that. But we're literally all going down together and we're like, oh, there he goes off the side. He's probably dead. And then you get down the bottom. Yeah, and you're like, oh my God, you're alive. That's great, awesome. Okay, let's go find something else dumb to do. But this is the kind of thing you do when you're a stupid Australian band and you're in America for like the second time. And later on, you kind of running from the cops thinking this wasn't the greatest idea, but you know, yeah. There we go. So this wasn't me directly, but this was Ben, our drummer, almost got eaten by a whale. He's on a kayak, and there's actually footage of this. It went kind of viral. It ended up on BBC. He was paddling on his kayak, like on an off day, on a show, and this was at home, and he was going through a massive school of fish, filming with his little GoPro camera, and all of a sudden this whale just goes, just like eating the fish. He didn't realize that there was any whales there, and it just appears like literally like 3 feet in front of his kayak. Just goes, he's screaming like this tiny little girl in the back. Oh my God, it's a whale! And it's all on film, and it's on YouTube. If you Google "man almost gets eaten by whale" on YouTube, there's a good time you'll find him screaming. He ended up on like daytime television and stuff. And the most amazing thing about it was they weren't like, wow, that was a great experience. Like, you were screaming like a little girl when that happened, weren't you? So, number 4. Cliff jumping. We used to jump off cliffs a lot. And into bodies of water. They didn't have to be the sea. But the highest I think I got to was about like 120 feet. Yeah, it would have been about that. High enough that you get bruised feet when you're not wearing shoes. But the most dangerous one was like, we have this quarry in our hometown which has various levels going up to it. The top one's about 100 feet. And the bottom is directly under, it's only like 2 feet deep, and then it slowly goes out. So you've got to take a good jump to get out, but you have 2 steps to get that speed up, and it's uphill, and then you jump. It's a really small launch area. So we kind of, I think, pioneered doing it. and did it a few times until, again, we were supposed to be playing like the first ever show we played with Hatebreed in Sydney, and we decided to go jump off that before we caught the flight, and Ben, our drummer, jumped off and just like went flying underwater straight into a rock and just busted his foot up before the show. And he's like, I hit a rock. So I go, oh, great. So it's all cut up and mangled, and then played the show with Hatebreed afterwards, blood and a busted up foot. So, and yeah, a couple of years ago, someone died doing it, so we stopped. Yeah. Like literally jumped off and went underwater and just got wedged under a rock, which is really nasty, but yeah. So yeah, cliff jumping. Don't do that. Somehow most of these has ended up revolving around our drummer Ben. I don't know how it ended up like this, but now looking back on it, I'm like, okay, yeah. Gorilla baiting. Well, this wasn't intentional. This was, and it ended up okay, but one of the off days on a tour, some of the guys went to a zoo, I'm going to say a zoo, and ended up looking at the gorillas when the exhibit was closed behind the screens and stuff, and I don't know how or why they ended up there, but there was a gorilla there and it was hanging out, and they thought it'd be funny if Ben, our drummer, took his shirt off and thumped his chest at the gorilla. So he had a go at that, not thinking that anything would happen, and he did it once and the gorilla didn't care, and then he did it again, and the gorilla kind of turned around and had a look at him, and they were like, okay, cool, I meant to leave, and the gorilla turned around from the back of the enclosure and came tearing down, smashed this gigantic tractor tire, which was hanging on a tree, just went bang, straight out of the way, tractor thing goes flying, ends up on the edge of the enclosure, trying to rustle him up, like trying to get at Ben, and they're standing on the other side of it going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There's like a 20-meter ditch or something, that's the enclosure. And they're standing on the edge of it going, this thing's going to jump over and eat us. And I feel really bad because they shouldn't have been screwing with it in the first place, and they do now as well, but they didn't expect that to happen. And the zookeeper comes running, I was like, what the hell are you doing? You're like, you're threatening his dominance, like bashing your chest, and yeah, no, I'm sorry, and ran out, but yeah. That's it, yeah. Sorry, gorilla, but it made them feel very small, put it that way.